Good morning, and welcome to the New York Metropolitan Transportation Council's Program, Finance, and Administration Committee, or PFAC meeting. I'm Ian Francis, representing the New York State Department of Transportation Commissioner, Maria Therese Dominguez, and Chair of PFAC. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be posted on the NYMTC website within the next 2 weeks. Today's meeting is available by webinar as well as in person at the NYMTC offices located at 25 Beaver Street in Lower Manhattan. For the meeting audience who are on the webinar, your lines will remain muted throughout the meeting. The chat pod is available for your use and is being monitored by NYMTC staff. During the public participation section of the agenda, registered speakers will be called on in the order of their registration. Registered speakers who are participating via webinar will be called on and their lines unmuted for their remarks. At this time, I will begin the roll call. When I say your agency, I ask that you each state the name of the person you're representing and the agency, the NYMTC principals, and the NYMTC principal you're representing. First, the voting members. I'm Ian Francis, representing New York State Department of Transportation Commissioner, Marie Therese Dominguez. New York City Department of Transportation.
Hi, this is Yogesh Sangvi, representing New York City DOT Commissioner, Idanis Rodriguez.
Thank you, Yogesh. New York City Department of City Planning.
Good morning, Jack Schmidt, representing City Planning Commission Chair and Director of the Department, Daniel Garodnik.
Thank you, Jack. Metropolitan Transportation Authority.
Good morning. This is Julia Seltzer, representing Chair and Executive Director Jana Lieber.
Thank you, Julia. Nassau County.
Hi, good morning. This is David Viana, representing County Executive Bruce Blakeman.
Thank you. Suffolk County.
Hi, this is Chris Chatterton, representing County Executive Steve Ballone.
Thank you. Rockland County.
Pat Gurton, representing Rockland County Executive Ed Day.
Thank you. Putnam County.
Good morning. This is John Tully, representing County Executive Kevin Byrne.
Thank you. And Westchester County.
Good morning. This is Kelly Sheehan, representing Westchester County Executive George Latimer.
Thank you. Now for the advisory members. Port Authority of New York and New Jersey.
Good morning. This is Jay Sheffield at the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, representing Executive Director Rick Cotton.
Thank you. New Jersey Transit. New Jersey Transit. Okay, then North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Ted Ritter from the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority, representing Executive Director David Barrett.
Thank you. New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. All right, the Federal Transit Administration.
Good morning, this is Dan Moser, representing Regional Administrator Steve Goodman.
Thank you. Federal Highway Administration.
Good morning, everyone. This is Scott Amani, representing New York Division Administrator Rick Markey.
Okay, and finally, the United States Environmental Protection Agency.
Good morning. This is Lily Black from the U.S. EPA, and I am representing Regional Administrator Lisa Garcia.
Thank you. All right, by my count, under our operating procedures, we have a quorum for today's meeting. We will now be given a presentation on NYMTC's 2023 to 2024 Unified Planning Work Program by Setu Allen of NYMTC staff. Setu?
Can you hear me and can you see my screen?
We can see your screen and we can hear you.
Fantastic, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. This will just be a brief presentation on the Unified Planning Work Program for the state fiscal year 2023 through 2024. So what is the Unified Planning Work Program? The Unified Planning Work Program serves as NYMTC's annual budget, and it describes how NYMTC will use federal transportation planning funds within its planning area over a single state fiscal year. The Unified Planning Work Program, it is guided by the shared goals from the plan, and the current plan is Plan 2055, otherwise called Moving Forward, which has goals related to safety and security, reliable and easy travel, planning for changing demand, reducing environmental impacts, and also resiliency. And it is these goals that help guide the development of NYMTC's work program. So the UPWP can be thought of as having two aspects of it. One is the core program, and the core program, this is the work that NYMTC has to do as an MPO to comply with things like federal regulations. And those include things like developing the regional transportation plan, which defines the long-range needs of the area. And NYMTC, over the course of the next 2 years, will be undertaking an update of its regional plan, the development of the federal fiscal years 2026 through 2055 regional transportation plan, which must be adopted before October 1st of 2025. NYMTC also each year updates its annual Unified Planning Work Program, and it is through this work program that we define the work of the MPO, but also define through our various studies different types of transportation improvements. NYMTC also produces or maintains its Transportation Improvement Program, which defines the schedule and funding for transportation improvements. And for the upcoming fiscal year, NYMTC will primarily be engaged in maintaining or modifying the federal fiscal years 2023 through 2027 TIP, and also be engaged in project solicitations related to federal discretionary grant programs. As part of this overall process, NYMTC also engages in the congestion management process and regional emissions analyses. And these are the tools that NYMTC uses, or processes that NYMTC uses, to analyze the impacts of the projects and programs that are programmed in the plan as well as the TIP. And through the upcoming fiscal year, NYMTC will be adopting a conformity determination for non-exempt amendments to the plan and TIP as amended. And through all this, eventually it all leads to the implementation of projects and improvements for the region's transportation system. Now, those are just a description of the overall core program. There's a lot of supporting activities that support the core program. One is like the organizational contracting and accounting, where I'll give a shout out to my colleagues, Joy Britton and Anthony Inzerenzo, who are heavily involved in that type of work. NYMTC maintains numerous committees and working groups for, say, freight activities or safety concerns or other. Also, we work collaboratively with the MAP Forum, a network of MPOs in the region. NYMTC maintains technical capacities like its best practice model, the New York best practice model. Through the member agencies and NYMTC staff, there's a lot of database management, integration, and data collection. This involves, say, the annual traffic counts that are undertaken by some of our member agencies. And I will mention one of our major upcoming efforts. NYMTC expects to do its next regional household travel survey, probably starting with this fiscal year. So this will be our first major survey in, I think, roughly a decade. In addition, we visualize our data via our website, and especially related to the plan, but also in general, NYMTC does maintain a pretty robust public information and outreach program. So in addition to that core program, NYMTC also funds through its UPWP a discretionary program to further its planning priorities. And this year's UPWP funds more than 50 discretionary activities. And the next few slides will just group them into a few shared topics. This is just supposed to be a sample. This does not fully represent the full extent of NYMTC's discretionary program. but some of those shared topics include safety, studies related to safety, studies or planning activities related to the freight system. NYMTC typically funds quite a few studies related to just understanding various sub areas in the region. We have data analysis and forecasting studies, and I will point out the Geospatial Mobility Database Replica Access Project that is being managed by the MTA, and that data is being provided not only to the MTA, but it's also being provided to all MPOs in New York State, as well as State DOT and NYMTC staff. Finally, we have transit improvement type studies being undertaken throughout the region. So for the upcoming fiscal year, the total program, this includes both the federal contribution as well as the 20% cash match provided by the member agencies. It's roughly $62 million, and that includes roughly 50-50% new funds as well as old funds. Roughly 60% of the funding is going to support NYMTC staff, which is primarily core program activities, and the remaining 40% is going to fund planning activities at the member agencies, which tend to be mostly discretionary program projects. Over the last couple of years, there have been certain delays in undertaking some of the planning activities in the UPWP due to COVID and other issues, but it's hard to say this, but as we get back to kind of a more normal state of being, many of the projects that have been in the UPWP for 1 or 2 or more years should be starting up or have started up, and we should be seeing some good progress in completing studies that have been in the UPWP for 1 or 2 or so years. So thank you to everyone. As always, the NYMTC UPWP, this represents the collective knowledge of all of NYMTC staff, as well as the contribution of the member agencies. So thanks to everyone at NYMTC staff and also the member agencies for your contributions to this year's program. Thank you.
Thank you, Setu. Do any members have questions on the presentation? Thanks everyone again. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is our public participation segment. We will hear from registered speakers with prepared remarks. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to give their remarks. We'll hear from these participants in the order they have registered. We ask that all speakers limit their comments to relevant transportation and planning related items. Our first registered speaker is Murray Bowden. Murray, please provide your remarks.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, you're Ian Francis, right?
Yes.
My name is Murray Bowden. I'm in charge of asking the questions that nobody else feels comfortable asking, and they don't get an answer. A couple of months ago, Ian, you and I had a conversation at NYMTC meeting, and I pointed out that the exit to the George Washington Bridge on a Henry Hudson Parkway was striped incorrectly, a white line against a guardrail. I asked you to correct it. You didn't. It hasn't been corrected. So anything that you do is discredited, is not valid. To sit there and represent the commissioner who runs a department where all kinds of laws are ignored, you have to be replaced as the commissioner has to be replaced. And all of you that are listening there, my name is Murray Bowden. This is on the record, which everything I do is on a record because I can't remember what I said. Ian, deny the fact that I asked you to get that one line fixed. If you can't get that one line fixed, you need to be replaced, as does the commissioner. They're spending money on signs, overhead guide signs that are outdated by 50 years. Arrows up, direction you're going, got the signs on a Kosciuszko Bridge. Why aren't they all over? Because we got a dysfunctional New York State DOT. So the commissioner has to be immediately replaced. You have to be immediately replaced. And everybody that's listening to me, and you're all out there representing people that know me, go when you see the traffic light turn green and people don't move. Why? Because they're texting. When they look up, they have to see one consistent true ray. Yellow lines on the left, white on the right. Pedestrians in a crosswalk that looks like a crosswalk and not like the ladders New York State's been using for years. At one point, does somebody step up and say, we got to change the system? Well, I'm saying it right now. I'm 89 and I do make mistakes, but everything I say is on a record. I don't walk anything back. You do. You all are listening. Go back to your people you represent and say, we need a change here. This is the new world we live in. We're not living in a world of 50 years ago. And the last question, how come you all have a picture and I can't have my picture up there? Fair is fair. I'm entitled to the same courtesy that you are. And next time, I expect my picture to be up there as well as everybody else's. It's been a pleasure. I could not have done this by myself. I'm not that smart. Many, many, many people have taken the time to teach me. I thank all of those who taught me, because I could not have done this by myself.
Thank you, Murray. Andrea, are there any other registered speakers?
No, not at this time, Ian.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on to the next action item. We will begin with we will now begin with the action items on the agenda. All materials related to these action items have been posted on the NYMTC website, www.nymtic.org. The first action is to accept the November 17th, 2022 meeting synopsis. I ask all voting members to announce your name and the agency you represent when you make or second a motion. May I have a motion to accept the November 17th, 2022 meeting synopsis?
Motion, Kelly Sheehan, Westchester County.
Thank you, Kelly of Westchester County. Is there a second?
Second, Chris Chatterton, Suffolk County.
Thank you, Chris of Suffolk County. Do we have any objections to the motion? Hearing no objections, meeting synopsis is accepted. Thank you to all. The next action item is to adopt resolution number 555, recommendation of the state fiscal year 2023 to 2024 Unified Planning Work Program. I will now ask Setu Allen of NYMTC staff to introduce this resolution.
Sure thing. Good afternoon, everyone. And just requesting that the NYMTC PFAC recommend the state fiscal year 2023 through 2024 Unified Planning Work Program for council adoption.
Thank you, Setu. Now, may I have a motion to adopt resolution number 555, recommendation of the state fiscal year 2023 to 2024 Unified Planning Work Program for council adoption?
I'd like to make the motion, Ian. Jack Schmidt, New York City Department of City Planning.
Thank you, Jack of New York City Planning. Is there a second?
Hi, David Viana from Nassau County, making a second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, we will now vote by roll call, starting with the Lower Hudson Valley. Putnam County?
Putnam County, aye.
Thank you. Rockland County?
Aye.
Westchester County?
Aye.
And Long Island, Nassau County?
Aye.
Suffolk County? Suffolk County?
Suffolk, aye.
Thank you. And New York City Department of Transportation.
Aye.
New York City Department of City Planning.
Aye.
And finally, Metropolitan Transportation Authority.
Aye.
Okay, and New York State Department of Transportation votes aye. Thank you to all. The motion passes. The next action item is to adopt resolution number 556, support of Westchester County and Suffolk County Transit Agency targets under the Federal Transportation Performance Management requirements and related amendments. I will now ask Jerry Bogaz of NYMTC staff to introduce the resolution.
Morning, everyone. Ian, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Jerry.
Great. Thank you. Resolution 556 has to do with the federal regulatory requirement for a performance-based planning approach. Under these requirements, FTA has published rules which indicate that transportation providers have to submit public transportation agency safety plans and transit asset management plans. These plans contain targets for state of good repair, for transit equipment and facilities, and for safety performance. NYMTC, as a metropolitan planning organization, has the option to either agree to the program investments in support of these targets, or to set their own quantifiable targets. And through this resolution, NYMTC is choosing to support the targets of the member agencies. Suffolk County did not have targets available when we acted on a similar resolution back in November of 2022. So their targets will be added new to our documentation by this resolution. Westchester County did have targets available in November, but they've since revised them. So we're essentially supporting the revised targets for Westchester County. And the staff urges the members to adopt this resolution.
Thank you, Jerry. May I have a motion to adopt resolution number 556, support of Westchester County and Suffolk County Transit Agency targets under the Federal Transportation Performance Management Requirements and related amendments?
Motion, Pat Gurdon, Rockland County.
Thank you, Pat. Is there a second?
Second, Yogesh Sanghvi, New York City DOT.
Thank you, Yogesh. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll now vote by roll call, starting with the Lower Hudson Valley. Putnam County?
Aye.
Rockland County?
Aye.
Westchester County?
Aye.
On Long Island, Nassau County?
Aye.
Suffolk County?
Aye.
New York City's Department of Transportation?
Aye.
New York City Department of City Planning?
Aye.
Metropolitan Transportation Authority?
Aye.
Okay, New York State Department of Transportation votes aye as well. Thanks to all, the motion passes. Okay, we're near the end now. The NYMTC's annual meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 23rd, 2023. This will be a hybrid meeting accessible through webinar and in person at the NYMTC offices in Lower Manhattan. Additional details of this meeting will be posted on the NYMTC website. The next PFAC meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 20th, 2023. Details of this meeting will be made available 2 weeks prior to the meeting. Now, to conclude today's meeting, I ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Putnam County will make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. May I have a second?
DCP will make the second, Ian.
Thank you. Does anyone have objection to the motion? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you to everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye all.